basketball fans will be focused on a small team playing on the large gym at Zeeland. As many of you probably know, this is the beginning of the final round of the 36th Annual State High School Athletic Association's basketball tournament here in Michigan. This is the 1960 version of that hallowed tournament. And in the regionals tonight against Newaygo, the Bridgman Bees, coached by Ron Schaefer, will be carrying the laurels of Berrien County in an attempt to make the semifinals. For the Bridgman Bees, this is not an unusual occasion. In fact, they have won 10 regional titles. They have won 7 in Class D. They have won 3 in Class C. In fact, the Bridgman Bees have done better than that. They have won 5 state championships. Tonight, they start on what they hope will be the 4th leg of a 6th state championship. Walt Briney, who coached 2 state championship basketball teams in 1945 and 1946, is seated here with us on this Background Flashes show. We'd like to tell you a little bit about Bridgman as we go back through the years, talk some names, talk some records, talk some basketball teams that I am sure all of us will remember. Walt, I would say that to first talk about Bridgman and to first talk about their exploits in the state tournament field, we would have to go back to 1925, and I believe in 25 you were a Class C team.
That's right, Don. We had a very fine team in 1925. Fred Reed, our former superintendent, was coach at that time, and we were in Class C back in those days. But in 1926, we dropped down to Class D.
I see. In 1925, if I am not incorrect, you got as far as the semifinals before you lost to a team that we have been seeing a lot of, 3 Oaks, 22-20 in the semifinals.
Now, that's correct, and that was played up at this Western Michigan gym.
Mm-hmm. Well, from 1925, as we keep the calendar going, on Bridgman, we go next to 1928, which is the next time that you became known across the state of Michigan. In 1928, what occurred at Bridgman?
Well, we had a wonderful team that year. Short Decker, who was on the faculty down at Buchanan at the present time, was our basketball coach. We had an undefeated team in 1928, 22 wins, no losses. We won the district, regional, and state in Class D.
In 1928 and 29.
29, we had about the same thing happen. We were beaten twice that year. We had a 19-2 record. Short Decker was coach, but we won the state in 29 as well as in 28.
Walt, in 1930 and the 31 season, you came up with another good ball club, a club that won 20 and lost 3. In fact, this was to be, was it not, your 3rd state title?
So that's correct. We missed in 1930 by the narrowest of margins. One of our local boys, who is now residing in Buchanan, Emil Stelter, played on these 3 state championship teams, 1928, 9, and 31. 1930, we lost by 2 free throws to 3 Oaks. No, beg your pardon, that was the St. Augustine's, and they went on and won the title.
In the district?
In the district, we were eliminated.
I see. Well, after the 1930-31 season, when you won the state title, we turn the pages up and keep turning them till we reach you once again now in Class C. And the year is 1940. What happened then, Walt?
Well, in 1940, that was my first year of coaching, and of course the most important one in my life. We had a fairly good team, a lot of reserve strength on our JV outset. Our total record that year was 15-7. We won the district and the regional, and incidentally we beat Battle Creek St. Philip in the regional in 1940, and we did the same thing in 41. That year we had a little bit better record. We had a 19-2 overall total. It took us an overtime to beat St. Philip that year. Both of those games are at the Western Michigan gym. Highlights of that, we had to, one of the few times that Bridgman was lucky in regional tournament drawings, we drew our very worthy and respected opponent at that time, Berrien Springs. In the first year, they had beaten us twice in regular season play. And then in the district, we won at Niles, they won at the Wadjack. We met again at Western Michigan Gym. And we were fortunate to beat Berrien Springs both in 1940 and 1941. And in each year we met Battle Creek St. Philip for the championship. And once again, luck was with us.
Now, what about in 1940 when you played Cedar Springs in the quarterfinals? That has a local touch to it, does it not?
Yes, one of the local coaches here, Dick Higgs from St. Joseph Bears, played on that Cedar Springs team that beat us 24-27. Dick and I have talked about that game several different times.
Well, after 1941, we turned the pages up back into Class D, and we reached 1945. Now, in 1945, what does that mean to you?
Well, once again, that was a terrific year in Bridgman basketball. We had a 26-3 overall record. We had a few more games than most teams because we participated in the Christmas tournament, and you could get about 3 games in there, and it cost you only 1 game on your record. So that year we played 29 games. In 1945, we had a terrific game with the St. Joe Bears. With 3 minutes to play, we had a 6-point lead. But that Bear team, with one of their usual last quarter drives, tied it up, and they beat us in overtime, 45-47. Then we didn't lose again until we hit 3-0 on the 26th of January, 1945. And we lost that game, and that was the last game we lost until we embarked upon our 46-game winning streak.
Now, that 46-game winning streak, Walt, which is still the most famous thing at Bridgman, started when exactly now?
It started right after that January 26th game down at Trio, 1945, that was. And, of course, that year we were state champions. We had to play 3 times in the district, 3 times in the regional, 3 times in the state. And that year we really had a scare in the finals. We played a team out of Detroit, named, slips my mind, Wyandotte A.C. Smith. And they had a lead 7-4 going into the second quarter. The rule at that time said that whoever had the team, or whichever team had the ball at the end of the first quarter, took it out of bounds at the start of the second quarter. They had the ball, and it took them 2 seconds to get a basket. They led 9-4. I felt like going home, but our team went into a press, and that was the last basket that Wyandotte Smith got for the second, third, and fourth quarters until there was 1 minute left. They got 1 basket, and in the course of that, they picked up 3 free throws, brought their total to 14 points.
You beat them 29-14.
29-14.
Well, in 1946, the 46-game winning streak is still going. By some peculiarity, the year is 46, and you are going to run off 46 straight. You beat Detroit Country Day in the finals of the state tournament that year by the score of 42-27. You beat Grand Rapids Fairview, a school is no longer in existence, in the quarters. And then in the semis, you beat Weedman 32-38. What does 46 bring back to you, Walt?
Very, very fond memories. To me, that seems to be one of the, well, that was the greatest team in my way of thinking. Lots of arguments around Bridgman about how that 1928 team compared with the 1946 team. But basketball had changed a lot in those last 18 years, the same as it's changed a lot right now.
In other words, there was a question of whether 22-0 in 28 was as good as 27-0 in 46.
That's right. There was a question as to whether, if those 2 teams had met, who would win. But the only thing I cared about, the only thing we were concerned with, that they were both wonderful ball clubs, and they were both from Bridgman. Then in that 1946 season, I had a lot of personal glory. The Associated Press picked me as the coach of the year in Michigan, which was quite an honor. And, of course, we won that state championship. At the end of the 1946 season, we had 40 straight consecutive wins. And we started out our 1946 and 7 year and added 5 more wins. Then on Friday, the 13th of December, that's a date I sure would like to forget. Ron Schaefer, our present coach, was playing on a New Troy team. They came down and they beat us 28-29, and that win streak went out the window.
Walt, well, that makes another local tie-in because one of you, we always call Ron somewhat a pupil of yours in a way because he is now working for you and I know absorbing many of your teachings in some way, but then I suppose beat you on that one day, and of course that makes it a big thrill for him. In 1948, Walt, you had another real good season. You'd been out of there from 45 to 46. In 1947, you won the holiday tournament in D, but you did not go to the state. In 1948, you're back up at Lansing again. You go all the way to the finals, and in that one, you lose a ball club to a team called Mass.
That's right. Mass was the Upper Peninsula team. We were the first victims of those Northern Peninsula boys. And believe me, Don, they've been mighty tough ever since then.
Well, Walt, if I may interject one note, not by way of criticism of the Michigan State High School Athletic Association, if I may inject one note of criticism, they seed them.
Up there.
Yes. And so when they come down here, they're bringing down what probably is the best ball club they've got.
Well, anyway, Mass was mighty tough that year. That's another year I'll never forget. It rained that Friday morning when we started up. We were delayed about 2 hours. We got out 35 miles from Lansing. The roads were flooded. We had to take a big detour. Everything went wrong that year. We won the semifinals, but lost to a mighty good ball club there in Mass.
So 1948, Walt, was the last trip that Bridgman had this far. In 1949, another Berrien County team took over. St. Joseph Catholic won the Class D championship in the state. In 1954, Goebels won it. In 55, Mass again. And then came the great era, 56 through 58, when Little Chapel became the third team in the history of the state tournament to win a title 3 times running. Walt, a lot of water's gone over the dam since you've been at Bridgman and since you've coached basketball. Now let me ask you, what about this one tonight?
Well, Don, I wish I could give you a real optimistic report on that. I just feel about 2 things. First, if Bridgman plays the kind of ball they can play, they've been playing in the regional, we're going to bring home the bacon. If we slip up, weaken in any way, I know that Newaygo Ball Club will do the same thing to us that they did to New Troy back in 1951. I do know that when you play a regional championship team, they're good or they wouldn't be there. Our boys, I feel, are up right now. They've did outstanding work in the regional tournament, and I feel that this season is a lot comparable to our 1952 season, the one my son played on. We got all the way to Lansing that year, and it took Fowler to beat us. Now, if we make the grade tonight, once again we'll be in Lansing. We don't have any outstandingly tall boys, nor did we in 52. But we had a gang that really loved to play ball, a great team ball club, and they were a fine bunch of lads. Now, this team this year is just about the same kind of a group of boys, and I wish them all the luck in the world.
Well, Brownie, I would say from a man who won 228 and lost 53 for 81% in 12 years, that those are great compliments. You've got a great bunch of kids, and I feel that your coach this year has done the outstanding job in Berrien County.
Well, thank you, Don. I feel the same thing. We're mighty proud of him, and I'm more than ever proud of him because of the fine example of sportsmanship, character, just the type of fellow that Ron Schaefer is. We're all mighty proud of him in Bridgman and New Troy, and I'm sure all of Berrien County feel the same way.
You have just heard a special program with Don Beeler and Walter Briney, recalling some of the exciting highlights from past years of basketball with the Bridgman High School team. This program was brought to you as a public service by the Bridgman branch of Farmers and Merchants National Bank. And